Hey guys, how's it going? It's Dave here with another Waregames video. Today we're gonna look at a little bit of Tekkit. Tekkit is, as you know, a Minecraft mod which mostly focuses on buildings and things like that. So I just wanted to show you this little world that we had created and show you what we've kind of come up with so far. So having played a few times before, when we set up this server, we wanted to make sure that we had lots of space so that we could build a big factory. So this is our lovely factory here that you can see. We've got some diamond blocks going on here. We have full setup. So this is where we started. We had just a few of these iron furnaces. As you can see, the iron furnace. We have a couple standard furnaces. Got all kinds of good stuff going on here. Of course, the key to making everything work right in Tekkit is these guys, right? The EC generator? EU generator, I think they're called. I should know these things, I guess, eh? Let's see here. They are called... You're all going, dude, come on. You should know what this is called. That's the alchemical chest. That's not the one we're looking for. There it is. The energy condenser, EC. Okay. So basically what those do, you should probably already know this, most of you already know this, is every item that can be created, as you can see as I scroll past them, they each have an EC value, it's an EMC value. If they don't have a value, it means they can't be created. So for instance, if I were to put the cobblestone up here, it's got an EMC of 1. We've got 32 units saved up, so it'll automatically create a bunch of those, and it'll take anything that isn't this unit, so in this case anything that isn't cobblestone, and it'll start using it and generating and creating them. Because the machine's full right now, it won't create anything further, but for instance if I put a diamond in there, and then for instance I cleared out those cobblestone, so now there's a space. What it's going to do is it's going to keep burning anything that's in here, burning is the term I'm using, and create more diamonds. So if we left it to do that, it would do that all day long. It would create more and more diamonds for us. So this one we're just kind of keeping wide open right now so that it can create anything that we kind of need or want here. We have, these are some pretty specialized Tekkit things. These are MFSU. They're like high power batteries, I guess you'd call them, storage units. So we can put things like our mining laser in there and it will start charging that up. You can see it's doing that right now. So Tekkit is basically taking all the sort of the basic stuff about Minecraft and adding in the ability to add machines and sort of automate a lot more stuff. I like it because it's just a good chance to tinker with things and see if you can solve problems, which can be a lot of fun. Anyway, so we'll take our mining laser. We'll show you how the mining laser works just for kicks. If you've never seen that, it's kind of cool. Just be very careful with it because it's very powerful. So if you hold down, in this case, my M key, and then I right click, it'll go through all the different modes of the mining laser for me. So you can see there it says horizontal, superheat. Oh, I'm sorry, my screen's a little bit too big, so you might not be able to see all those words. Anyways, I'm going to put it into... For instance, I'll put it in horizontal mode, which means when I fire it, it will only fire horizontally. It won't go all over the place. So I could just fire, and it'll burn like a straight strip of blocks out of. So you can see right there, it did go down one, but it pretty much just built put in a straight line of stuff and things. So if I fire it again, you can see it's just kind of. It's very handy for mining stuff in a big hurry. We also have this. This is the diamond drill. So it's not a laser or anything, but I'll show you over here. It's basically, it's like a much faster version of anything that you can mine with. So it just kind of blows through stone and cobblestone like it's not even there. And dirt is just kind of really beats the heck out of the dirt. So that's kind of fun. Right, so we were showing you our lovely home. So we've created this home. My two sons like to have the beds there. So basically what we did was this kind of section over here is kind of our house section. We've got quite a big extended bit to it. There's a cat over here. It makes a lot of noise. I should show you the we put in a fast food restaurant over here. It's not fully functional or anything yet, but we kind of like it. And it's right here. And I actually just moved all this stuff down one, so we don't really have... It's not on the right level yet. Oh, and you know what? It's funny because we actually put in... we had pressure panels there before. Pressure plates so that you could get in. So we're just going to sneak in through the wall. Just to show you. We'll fix that later. See, you can see the pressure plates on the inside are still working. But we took the ones on the outside out when we changed the floor level. So in here we have, you can see all the lovely lights that we've got put in, those lamps. They all work off of redstone circuits. They're controlled by this switch right here, so I can turn the lights on and off. And we put in these sort of fake counters. And this is the window so that you can go back to your fast food place. This is the drive-through window. And here we have a machine and we've got raw pork chop in there. So if we were to put in, for instance, a diamond, it would create a bunch more raw pork chops. And then, of course, we've got all these lovely furnaces so we can make you some pork or beef or whatever it is that we've decided to sell on that given day. Another aspect here that we have in this version of Tekkit is we've got these alloy furnaces. They're called blue electric. So there's a whole system of power based on blue electricity. And it can be powered by a bunch of different means. We generally use solar. And then up here you can see, well, I'll show you the sort of the empty side first. This is, all those lights are all powered off of, again the same idea. And if I turn this switch off, you can see they'll all kind of go out. Except I think the other side might be on a different circuit. I'm not sure. Or they're just taking their sweet time turning off. Anyways, so up here we've basically built a bunch of machines that create things. So if you're not at all familiar with Tekkit, I'll try to explain a little bit. So one of the basic items that you use in Tekkit is these guys. These are called copper cables. And the way that you create a copper cable is by putting 3 pieces of copper and 6 pieces of rubber, and that gives you 6 copper cables. Now you might be asking, how do you make rubber? I've never played Tekkit before. So basically what you do is you have these things called extractors. Now we've upgraded to something called a centrifuge extractor. But basically you get sticky resin from a special kind of tree, rubber tree. And normally at the beginning you just sort of extract that with a tree tap. And then when you put them in the extractor, it creates 3 for each unit of sticky resin. You get 3 rubber. So what we've actually done is we've put a machine in there that kind of does it for us. And then those EC generators that we talked about a minute ago, we've got a bunch of those back here. So for instance, this machine is loaded with sticky resin. So as soon as the machine's capable of burning some more, it will do that. And you can see the rubber coming out. We've actually got two different centrifuges creating that. Both of them feed into here, so you can see it's full. This machine is jammed full right now, and every time it creates 6 more, these 2 go down for a second, and then they fill up immediately again. All those go into this chest until such time as it's full, and then you can see here, it actually goes up and across. There's a different machine that we have over here. You can see them all going in there. And this is a machine that creates RE batteries, rechargeable batteries. And the copper cable is one of the components, so you can see that the machine is also filling those in. So really it's just a series of tubes to create things. So those copper cables are also used in another machine over here. And this one creates electronic circuits. So we've got a full thing of those. We've got not a full thing of refined iron, and we've got a bunch of redstone. So it's all a little bit to take in all at once. But if you're familiar with this, you might just be going, you should have made your thing a little less cumbersome and clumsy. So all those machines are basically those EMC generators or EC generators. They're all being fired or powered off of this. You can see all of these little blaze, what do we call those, blaze powders? Blaze powders, correct. So the blaze powders are all just basically looking for something that's not full, and as soon as it finds one, it will go and fill that up. And those are all actually coming out of, at the moment, we've got this lovely setup here. We've got all these blaze rods, and we've got a machine over here, this rotary macerator, and it basically creates a bunch of those, and it passes them on. As soon as there's room, it'll pass on some more. So if we just pulled out a bunch of those, you can see a bunch more are going to come out of that machine. So once they're full, it'll stop creating them or stop trying to send them. So we're using an exploit in Minecraft. So basically what happens is if you can get your hands on like 2 blaze rods, you're off to the races. So you can see the blaze rod has an EMC value of 1536. And the blaze powders are 768. So if you took 2 blaze powders, that gets you to around 1500. But when you take a blaze powder and you macerate it, or sorry, a blaze rod and macerate it, it actually creates 3 blaze powders. So you basically are creating more energy than you are destroying. So as a result of that, we have an endless supply of power here. And so we use that to kind of feed and power everything. So there's a bunch of machines here, and basically each of these just create one piece of a puzzle. And it all kind of ends up in this machine. So we take some generators, we take those electronic circuits we were looking at a second ago. There's also straight up glass, coal dust, and those things all together will create, you can see, a solar panel, and the solar panels are kind of blipping in and out really quickly. And those solar panels get created in that machine that we just looked at, and then they're going to get pumped through here. Sorry, it's a bit of a mess, our wiring. And then they come over here, and when we have 8 of them and an LV transformer, low voltage transformer, it creates a low voltage solar array. Then it bounces to the next machine where we have medium voltage transformers, and they become medium voltage solar arrays. And then finally, of course, you guessed it, to a high voltage transformer. So right now it's just waiting. When there are 8 of these, it will create a high voltage, a high voltage solar array. So you can see here we've got one entire stack and 29 more of them. So that's a lot of power. So we're actually able to power all of our machines, and using those batteries that I showed you earlier, the HV or the MFSUs, we're able to store energy even when it's nighttime. So basically we can keep our machines powered. See, that's 100% full, that one here, and each one of these guys up here are all high voltage solar panels. Got a whole chain of them, and those towers you can see up there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we just kind of stopped putting in new towers because it just struck me that we could just pretty much fill the roof at this point if we so desired. The other thing that we kind of played with to make this building, for those of you that have a keen eye, is we are able to create a template and a blueprint. So I had this factory ended right here, and then we just used the blueprint maker, and it actually just created a copy of it. So as I run forward, you'll see the stairs that we just passed. See those stairs back there? There's another copy of them here. So the second factory ends right here, and then we added a third factory, and it goes all the way back, and once again there's those stairs. So that that blueprint thing is pretty cool. You can see it's right there, template drawing table. So you put a blueprint in there, and you use the I don't know if I have any on me, these landmark dealies, and you can actually create a copy of your building, and then you just get a building machine, and you just basically build an entire copy of what you're working on. It's pretty cool. So yeah, certainly, I mean, I'm no Tekkit master, I'm no Minecraft master, but my favorite thing to do is to sort of figure out, oh, what do I want to do? Let's see if we can solve this kind of a puzzle or a problem, or how do I do this? And then we set about going to do that. So I'm just going to sleep here so that it gets light. And there we go. So it's morning. And outside of our house here, so the last thing that I just kind of added in was this lovely sort of, what, green space, I guess you'd call it. So we've got all of this, the trees and the nice flowers and some water in between them. Just noticed an insanely large tree. Look at that one. Got a little bigger than, doesn't quite fit with the rest of them. So the plan eventually is to have a nice big street here. We have one of our friends. He's got a little house over here. He's a little further away. You can see some of it will start drawing in. So there's his little power rig. And he's got these lovely orangey dealies going up the side there. We got glowstone everywhere. So once you have enough EMC, you can create whatever you want. So we kind of did that. And you can see another one of these boulevards that I was working on here. It's pretty new. We're just waiting for it to all the grass to fill in. I literally just finished that. And over here we have, I've created, there's some of the landmarks. And what I did here was I just created sort of a basic empty building. So there's the lower floor, there's like a loft kind of thing for a second floor. And there's a couple windows. I didn't put in any window blocks. When you use that builder, it just whatever material you put into it is what it'll use to build. So you could create, say, different color buildings out of wool or whatever you like. So the problem that I'm having right now, you can see these guys are fired up. And I'm not sure exactly what I did wrong, but what I want is I want all of them to connect so that when I put in the template, it'll build the whole thing. I'm concerned if I set up the machine right now that it's not going to do what I want. So I'll put the machine right here, and normally what happens is it'll kick off these things, and it will, see how it did that there, and it created this dark line that shows you that's what's going to be built. But it's not doing it with the top, so I don't know exactly what I did wrong, but I will figure it out, or I'm sure one of you will tell me, or point me to a video that will tell me what I did wrong. So for now I could just pop those out, or maybe I have to move the machine first, I'm not sure. So there, the machine's gone. Make some room in my inventory. One thing with Tekkit is your inventory fills up incredibly fast because there's lots of different parts and machines, and so I started using the alchemy bags to get rid of that. So yeah, I've got another set of 4 of those up there, and I've got 4 down here, so I'm going to figure out how to do that. And then the plan is to basically I just put the builder down right here, and it'll create another building right there, and it'll just replace whatever's there, and it will create another building, and this will clear all this stuff out, and then we'll have a whole, like a street, basically a row of cool houses and shops and things like that. You can see I was sort of starting to clear this out. I didn't quite get done, but the back of our building kind of got built right into this hill, so we could clear all that out and make a nice space for our building at the back here. So you can see we're like taking over this jungle biome here. And then like right behind our house now is the pond, and look, there's cats, ocelots. So yeah, that's kind of the basic 1-2 of our lovely little Tekkit factory. And we've got lots of space here in the factory still, so we can come up with ideas for other machines and things like that while we go. This little bit over here was one thing that happens with Tekkit is you get these machines, but then the machines are working too slow, and so you want them to speed up. So there's all kinds of upgrades that you can build, like you can overclock your machines and increase the power storage on them and things like that. So that's what that little overhang on the building was there. So I can kind of show you that, how that works super quick. So yeah, I needed water. So what we've got going on here is these guys are like solar, what do we call these? Oh, there's a name for them. Energy condensers or energy collectors. Inside of this thing there is, you can't see it because it's entirely enclosed, but there's one of the energy condenser dealies, the creation thing that creates, in this case it's creating tin, and then the tin goes into here and it creates empty cells. We pass those empty cells over to this machine, which is called a deployer, which automatically fires water cells through this pipe once they're done. And those water cells go to this machine over here, to the extractor. So if I move these 64 out of the way, is they're going to create coolant cells, is the theory here. And so you can see right there, see how it's just starting to do it again now? It stopped doing it because there was no room left in the machine. So this is just creating, it's taking those and it's creating the water. The water's instantly refilling itself over there, you can see. It uses the water, and then the water refills, and then the water refills, and the water refills. So it's going to just fill this back up until there's, again, till it's back up to 64. And over here, what we're lacking right now is copper cables. So our copper cables are busily being used somewhere else. We need to get more copper cable and drop it here. And then it would create these overclockers. So you can see here we've got just way more than we'll ever need, really. You can put maybe 16 of those in a machine, and then it's pretty much full. And then I created a second one over here that uses electronic circuits and the copper cable and wooden planks and circuits. And what is it missing right now? It's missing batteries. And once it has the batteries, it will create the other kind, which is the power storage. I don't know if I have finished sending all of the right stuff to that thing so that it's self-creating, but we could certainly take, for instance, we could take some of the copper cables from there and we could drop them in this machine, and then it should start creating more overclockers. You can see there. So yeah, so that's kind of how we're playing this right now. When we need something, you just kind of create it. This is where all the power lives. Most of these are not even connected to anything right now, so they just get full and they stay that way. Though some of the power does come over here and get used. This is all that stuff I was showing you before to create the solar arrays. So some of the power, for instance, this giant ugly cable. I didn't do a very good job of running the cable, did I? So that cable comes down here and powers both these machines. And these are the electric furnaces. So you can see here I've got 16 overclockers. I've got 12 energy storage upgrades and 3 transformer upgrades. The transformer upgrades allow you to use the high voltage directly without having to step it down. So if you start using Tekkit, if you put too much power into a machine, it kind of blows it up. And so you have to use things like the transformers that we were just looking at. I could certainly make videos to show how that stuff works, but I suspect lots of people have done that already. So, anyways, this is our fun little house. We're in peaceful mode right now, in case you were wondering why there was no baddies jumping around and kicking our butts. Just while we were getting set up, we wanted to leave it and just make things nice and peaceful. I kind of like more just building anyways, rather than fighting or anything. You can see one of those landmarks up there from when I built this one. So yeah, and then these are our diamond blocks. Sort of like almost like a Teen Titans thing. I don't know what's going on there. And then these are kind of the cool windows that we created so that everything's always nice and lit up. Anyways, that's our nice boardwalk. And I hope you've enjoyed checking out our Tekkit server. If you did, then let me know. If you want to see more Tekkit videos, I could certainly do that. And if you don't, then let me know that too. Unlike a lot of YouTube channels, we love comments. We love to hear what people think. Even if you don't like what we're doing, just let us know how we're doing so that we have a better idea how to make things better for you. So thanks very much for watching. If you did have a good time, feel free to throw a like or a comment or even subscribe to the channel, and that would be awesome. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we will talk to you later.